Good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome to our 2020 Residency and Fellowship Graduation and Teaching Recognition Celebration in the Department of Internal Medicine. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Patricia Syme, and I have the privilege of being the chair of the Department of Medicine. I've been here for almost a year now. Tonight, I really want to, of course, warmly welcome all of our graduating residents and fellows and your loved ones and your families. We are absolutely delighted that you are able to join us virtually, if not in person. And while we'd love to be shaking your hands in person, I'm sure you'll enjoy tonight's celebration, and it will be every bit as impactful. Joining us tonight, we have many of our faculty across our 11 divisions of the Department of Internal Medicine. And we are very excited to have some of our leadership team joining us tonight as well from the School of Medicine and from our health system. Just know that we are absolutely all here tonight to cheer you on your way and to celebrate with you. This is a wonderful evening. It's really a time to celebrate your achievements and to pause just for a moment to think about all of the many things that you have done. We're going to celebrate the wonderful and skilled, compassionate and dedicated physicians that each and every one of you have come to be. We've so enjoyed sharing this journey, and for many on the Zoom call, they've had more chance to spend more time than I have with you, but I have enjoyed every minute of my time with you. You have taught us a great deal, and I hope we have shared some of our skills with you. Now, these last few months have not been easy for any of us, and I think it's just an incredible testament to you as physicians, educators and leaders in the way you have responded to the COVID pandemic. You were at the bedside, on the floors, and in the ICU when our first patients arrived, and we had to learn how to care for these people together. You've been part of our scholarship mission. You have taught us how to care for these patients and to develop novel therapies, all of the wonderful things that go on in an academic medical center. We're going to miss you all. Know that we are very proud of you, and I've just heard wonderful things from your program directors and your colleagues and the faculty here at VCU. Please remember to stay in touch. Let us know about your professional as well as your personal successes, so we can cheer you on not just tonight, but throughout your entire career. Know that we're always here. We'd love to hear from you, and you will always be a very special part of our VCU family. You'll be my first graduating class, so you're also very special to me. Tonight, I'd also like to take just a moment to thank all of those people who've been involved in your training with you and together throughout the 3 to 4 or 5 years you've been here. We are just blessed to have wonderful fellowship directors and a wonderful residency program director. Dr. Stephanie Call is our Associate Chair for Education and is really going to help me lead tonight's celebration. I thank them, each and every one of you, for your contributions to the education of our learners, and I know that each and every one of you right now are cheering us on. So I would like to now turn this over to Dr. Call, who is just a wonderful champion of all things educational, not just in the Department of Internal Medicine, but across our VCU enterprise. Dr. Call.
Good evening, everyone. It's wonderful to be here to celebrate. This has been such a special year, unique in its challenges and inspiring in what we saw that we could do as a community of learners and with our faculty. Our trainees were a huge part of our ability to meet the challenges that we faced this year. It's an honor to take this evening to celebrate them, in particular our graduates, of whom we are extremely proud and who have inspired us day in, day out. I'd like to start with a few acknowledgements of appreciation. First and foremost, our staff. The staff in the Office of Education Affairs are really the individuals that move our programs forward day by day, support our learners no matter what it is that they need, and really keep us all running forward. Sahar Randwa, our associate administrator, Patricia Walker, our office manager, Ashley Montoute, our office administrative assistant, who probably keeps everybody straight. Our coordinators, Allison Dubinsky, Derek Altizer, Catherine Good, Jeanette Wood, Cecily Watkins, and Monica Schultz, who work with the core residency program and the fellowships. And then our clerkship coordinators and Grand Rounds coordinator, Thomas Bryan and Gilda Harris-Howard. We really couldn't do this without them. While we're on thanks and appreciation, I'd like to take this time to thank the leadership of the department. Dr. Syme, who just joined us this year, has been an amazing leader throughout the year and put up with me, and has a passion for education that goes above and beyond. As well as our department administrator, Al Dunn, our VA leadership, Dr. Mike Climo and Dr. Lenore Joseph, our GME leadership, Dr. Brian Aboff, and our hospital and school leadership, Drs. Ron Clark and Dean Buckley, and the rest of the health system leadership. They support us to do what we do every day. And I'd be remiss without really thanking the people who lead each program, who put in the work every day, our fellowship directors that you will hear from later, our associate program directors, in particular for the residency program, Becky Miller, who's been by my side and will assume the leadership of our training program this year, and then the core educators and the faculty who really move this program forward and put their hearts into our program and support our trainees minute by minute, moment by moment, hour by hour. Tonight we're celebrating, and we have a lot to celebrate. We will start the festivities by briefly announcing both our faculty and our trainee awards. Each of these individuals has inspired others with their gifts and their talents, and we would love for you to check out our website next week to read about their recognition. Out of respect for everyone's time, we will unfortunately just announce their names at this time. We'll start with our faculty awards, and I'm going to turn this over to the chief medical residents because the awards are selected by the trainees.
The first award that again is resident selected is for recognition for excellence in teaching by a non-physician educator. And this award is to honor nurses, nurse practitioners, pharmacists, and other healthcare personnel who play a large role in the education of our residents. And the awardee is Patrick Reed. Next award is the Outstanding Faculty Award for Best Inpatient Ward Attending. Again, these are resident selected. We have two awardees, Patrick Fadden and Brenda Queen.
The next award is the Outstanding Faculty Award for the Best Attending in an ICU Setting, and that is resident selected, and that goes to Dr. Lisa Brath. The next is the Innovation in Teaching Award. This is a resident selected award to honor those teachers that go above and beyond in introducing innovative teaching methods, such as simulations, team-based learning, other active learning modalities. And the awardee is Dr. Jared Dyer.
I'm going to be introducing our faculty who are receiving teaching awards for faculty excellence in teaching. This year we have 5 resident selected awardees. They are selected by the residents in recognition of outstanding teaching in all settings, the ambulatory, inpatient settings, morning reports, conferences, one-on-one time that they spend with the residents, and a variety of other modalities. Our 5 awardees tonight are Dr. Stephanie Call, Dr. Daniel Grinnan, Dr. Alex Rittenberg, Dr. Nalong Patel, and Dr. Anthony Manisi.
Next, we're going to recognize the Outstanding Teaching Division Award. This is a top division teaching award. It started about 4 years ago and is resident selected as well to honor an entire division for their entire faculty efforts in going above and beyond in teaching, in conferences, clinical settings, mentoring, and everything else our residents go through on a daily basis. This division will receive a monetary award to be used to support enhancement of their educational activities and goals. The recognition award in this area goes to the Division of Cardiology with the division chair of Dr. Kenneth Ellenbogen. For the probably 18th year in a row, the Division of Pulmonary and Critical Care Medicine has won the Outstanding Teaching Division Award, which is led by Dr. Patrick Nanasika.
And now we'll move on to our trainee awards. It's always a treat to recognize residents and fellows for the teaching and the work that they do. We have many residents and fellows that do absolutely outstanding work, but we'd like to take time to recommend just a few. First, the Oren Murin MD Award for Outstanding Fellow. Oren Murin was an amazing physician, a talented educator, and just a wonderful mentor. And in his honor, this award was started many years ago. This year, our award for the Outstanding Fellows go to Rachel Guthrie and Trevor Taylor. Our next award is a Michael Wayne Rifford Award. This peer-selected award was established by the faculty in honor of Dr. Rifford, who was diagnosed in his internship with aplastic anemia and subsequently died of complications. He's remembered by all as a smart, unassuming gentleman with a wonderful sense of humor. He was said to truly appreciate the personal interaction in interacting with patients and to have a humility in regards to the privilege of practicing medicine. In honor of Dr. Rifford, the residents have selected 2 persons this year who really embody these characteristics, Dr. Nikita Chadha and Dr. Spencer Harris. Our Outstanding Junior Resident Award, for those that are not familiar with our terminology, those are our second-year residents, goes to Dr. Rasha Roslin. The Higgins Award, also peer-selected for Outstanding Senior Resident, goes to Milan Patel. And then to recognize a graduating resident for excellence in teaching, Dr. Ryan Heron. The next award is the Arthur B. Klein Memorial Award for Humanism. This is a peer-selected award presented in memory of Dr. Klein through a generous donation from his family and is awarded for exemplary humanism in the practice of medicine. We have a perpetual plaque honoring Dr. Klein and the attributes celebrated by the special award, which remains on display in our house staff conference room. The award is given to the member of the house staff selected by the vote of his or her peers who best demonstrates the healing values of careful listening to patients and of explanation of the causes, course, and outcomes of their disease. And this year, the award goes to both Kristen Hull and Lee Johnson. The John Witherspoon Award for Primary Care was introduced several years ago in honor of John Witherspoon. I had the privilege of working with John Witherspoon when I first joined faculty here at MCV. He was an amazing provider, a wonderful friend, and an incredible mentor to both patients and trainees. And the award for the excellence in primary care goes this year to Elizabeth Ramsey Fry. The Senior Resident Scholar Award is chosen by a faculty committee to honor a third-year resident for excellence in scholarship and discovery, someone who fosters intellectual curiosity by digging a little deeper into the questions beyond the day-to-day management of their patients. We have many residents who go above and beyond in their scholarship. Our Senior Resident Scholarship Award goes this year to both Winston Hong and Milan Patel. Because our residents are so incredible in their pursuit of excellence in scholarship, we have started both a Junior Resident Scholars Prize and an Intern Scholars Prize. Our Junior Resident Scholars Prize this year goes to Jeffrey Kolominsky, Dr. Ravi Choksi, and Dr. Rasha Roslin. And our Intern Scholars Prize goes to Christopher Chu. Our Chief Medical Resident Award was selected by the Chiefs for someone from the graduating class who goes above and beyond in contributing to our community. And I think there is no doubt and no debate that Bharadwaj Kalapakam, when he joined our program at the beginning of his second year, started to contribute from day one. And so he will be this year's recipient of the Chief Medical Resident Award. And certainly last but not least in our awards is the Senior Resident Department of Medicine Faculty Award for Excellence in the Residency. This is a faculty selected award. This Outstanding Young Physician Award honors the awardee for uncompromising intellectual and personal commitment to the art and science of medicine. And it's a privilege to announce that this award this year will go to Dr. Alan Yu, who is in our combined emergency medicine, internal medicine training program. At this time, we're going to work towards celebrating our graduating residents. And there is no better way to start the celebration of our graduates than to hear from one of our graduates who, as you just heard, was honored with the Senior Resident Arthur B. Klein Memorial Award. So I will turn things over to Dr. Kristen Hull.
I put a lot of thought into what I wanted to say over the next 20 minutes to you guys. And basically, at the beginning of intern year, I spent a great deal of time lost. Quite literally lost, because the hospital was built on a hill with many buildings and halls that lead to places you would never expect. There have been some excruciatingly slow times. The morning hours between 6 and 8:30 a.m. on night float come to mind. But now, 3 years later, time has also flown by. And while we were moving through our days, the years have gone by. Now we all gather together but apart, and the path that we've walked side by side will soon be leading us off in a multitude of different directions. But we can't forget those who have walked alongside us and carried us forward when our own reserves were gone. Our family, our friends and colleagues, our teachers, our mentors, those who were there to remind us of the grand scheme when all that we could see were the obstacles in front of us. For without their sacrifices, our own sacrifice would never have culminated in this success. And we move forward from here, all of us changed. We've walked these labyrinthine halls and trained under some of the greatest physicians in their fields, who have calmly corrected and guided us, unassumingly, patiently, without ego. The great women and men who show up every day, despite personal risk, because this career will always be more than just a job. And I would challenge all of us to continue this legacy as we continue to grow, gain prestige and recognition in our own careers, to remember that every time that you go to care for a patient, you will never be the most important person in the room. As physicians, we often liken the tempo of our days to the weather. There are black clouds, white clouds, and granted, things have been a bit stormy of late. But if things get worse instead of better, and our backs are against the wall, you guys are the ones that I want standing beside me. So, cheers to the graduating residents of the Internal Medicine Program 2020. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen. I'm about to announce the graduating residents and really take some time to celebrate each one. Before we do that, I really want to highlight that the people that you are about to hear about, both our graduating residents and our graduating fellows, are truly inspiring. They have created a community here at VCU that is powerful and really fosters and focuses on what is possible, what can be achieved. In honor of this graduating class, I'd like to read one of my favorite pieces from Meg Wheatley, which I read yesterday with our graduating residents. It's called Turning to One Another. There is no power greater than a community discovering what it cares about. Ask what's possible, not what's wrong. Keep asking. Notice what you care about. Assume that many others share your dreams. Be brave enough to start conversations that matter. Talk to people you know. Talk to people you don't know. Talk to people you never talk to. Be intrigued by the differences you hear. Expect to be surprised. Treasure curiosity more than certainty. Invite in everybody who cares to work on what's possible. Acknowledge that everyone is an expert about something. Know that creative solutions come from new connections. Remember, you don't fear people whose story you know. Real listening always brings people closer together. Trust that meaningful conversations can change your world. Rely on human goodness and stay together. By Meg Wheatley. This graduating class of residents and fellows are a group that truly have meaningful conversations. And as you make this transition, will enter their next phase expecting to be surprised and asking what's possible and listening to those that they will meet as they take that next step. So with that, I'd like to share with you our graduating residents. First, we'd like to acknowledge our graduating preliminary medicine trainees. They stay with us for 1 year. They're a very important part of our training program. We celebrated them last week and acknowledged them during a separate celebration, but I'd like to go ahead and acknowledge them. They're all going off to their advanced programs and have 3 to 4 more years of training, and we wish them well. Next, I'd like to acknowledge our chief residents who are also graduating from their chief residency. They were an absolutely outstanding group that stepped up and supported the residents, the faculty, the program director, and the chair as we moved through one of the most challenging years that I've experienced in over 20 years in medical education. And so from left to right, Chris Young, who will be leaving us and starting his gastroenterology fellowship at the University of Virginia. Audrey Jernigan, who will be leaving us and taking a position as a hospitalist, who will be continuing to educate others in Atlanta, Georgia. Jonathan Hilliard, who will be starting his cardiology fellowship at Virginia Tech Carilion. Katie Waybill, who will be starting at Tufts in pulmonary critical care. And Jared Dyer, who's the smartest of the group because he stayed here with us at VCU Health in pulmonary critical care. Sorry, Katie, it's okay. So our graduates, let us start with Sarah Abdelmasi. And we've entered a couple of quotes from everyone's peers and from the faculty so that you get a nature of the outstanding graduates that we have. I aspire to have, about Sarah, I aspire to have a fraction of her clinical acumen when I'm a senior resident or attending one day. Sarah was an excellent team leader. She is adept at identifying the strengths and weaknesses of her team members and forthright in sharing her views. Sarah will be starting a nephrology fellowship with us here at VCU Health. Laura Alder, who is known to be very empathetic and showed a great deal of compassion towards patients. She's a calm, confident leader who conveys kindness and empathy in her interactions with both patients and caregivers. Laura will be starting her hematology oncology fellowship at Duke University next year. Rose Bauman, a quote about Rose: through her interactions with patients during team bedside rounds, Rose modeled empathy and patient-centered care for the junior members of our team. Her team leadership and management skills were notably good as she not only navigated a busy consult service, but also supported and coached our team's third-year medical students. And Rose will be starting as a hospitalist in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Anjulia Chandrakumaran. She is intelligent, hardworking, and amicable. Her calm demeanor helped everyone in stressful and urgent situations without compromising the high standards of care that she sets for everyone. She is a quiet, strong force, and she'll be starting a geriatrics fellowship with us here in July. Mauri Chaudhry. She has a mature clinical sense and analytical approach to solving problems. She demonstrates clinical reasoning well and often would explicitly discuss her rationale and train of thought for our patients. She took ownership of the team and was the leader in the true sense. Calm, collected, thoughtful, and thorough. Good clinical judgment and knowledge base. Great interpersonal skills. Truly a pleasure to work with. And Mauri will be starting as a hospitalist with Kaiser Permanente in Maryland. Peter Davidson, quoted to be much a team player. Very easy to work with, shows up on time, has excellent communication, and made a challenging rotation more fun. Good role model of work ethic, literature review, and upbeat attitude. And Peter will be started as a hospitalist at Sentara Princess Anne Hospital in Virginia. Ginger DeGravel gives a perfect level of supervised freedom to learners where they can make their own decisions but know that they always have their senior support for decisions. Ginger is known to be very knowledgeable, respectful, proficient resident that effectively manages the team and conscientiously cares for a large number of complex patients. And Ginger will be starting at the University of Alabama at Birmingham in her gastroenterology fellowship. Masood Faridnia. Dr. Faridnia is remarkably cerebral, practical, and didactic that leads to a practice of medicine that is aspirational to me, quotes one learner. He does all of this with the no-nonsense bottom line that is patient care and exhibits humility and true self-confidence that is not common in clinicians. Masood is an outstanding physician and one of the strongest residents I've worked with. Both his work ethic and attitude are above reproach, and I sincerely hope to work with him in the future. And Masood will be staying as a hospitalist here at VCU Health. Ramsey Fry. Ramsey is not only a very capable primary care physician, but she also has the most enthusiastic, infectiously positive attitude. We all absolutely agree. She can make even the most ornery veterans' patients smile. Her demeanor helps put patients at ease, and it is easy to see how much they trust her. She does an excellent job explaining disease processes and management to her patients in an easy to understand manner. And Ramsey will be starting as a hospitalist in Oxford, Mississippi. Kevin Ganesh. Kevin is approachable and patient. While working with him, he was constantly willing to run patient plans, provide teaching and instruction, and allows interns more independent and ward managing roles when appropriate. At the same time, he created an environment where I felt comfortable asking for assistance when time, patient care was at stake. He was willing to provide feedback to help me with my improvement as an intern, for which I am very appreciative, quoted one learner. Kevin will be starting his infectious diseases fellowship at the University of Southern California. Jessica Glover. Dr. Glover is a very smart, caring, and conscientious physician. Many of her patients identify her as a primary provider on the team, which is a great quality to have, particularly at this stage of training. She is incredibly supportive, would always have the interns' backs regardless of situation. And Jessica will be starting as a hospitalist and moving around the country in locum tenens. Ryan Herron. Ryan Herron is quoted to be always professional, caring, and compassionate. He is consistently professional, engaged, and interested in his patients. Ryan joined us after he spent a year with us, went away to start radiology, and came back. And he'll be staying on with us as a hospitalist here at VCU Health. Kat Hess. Kat was quoted to really excel as a senior resident and is definitely someone that I want to exemplify in the future. She's wonderfully compassionate teacher and team leader who also advocates for her patients. She effectively manages a busy service while providing compassionate patient care and encouraging learners to improve their knowledge base and decision-making skills. Kat is staying on as a chief resident next year. Winston Hong. Winston is an incredibly thoughtful, kind, and knowledgeable senior. He's very supportive to the team and knows how to help the interns with their workflow. He brings a contagiously fun, we would all agree, upbeat energy to the team. While maintaining professionalism, he continuously pushes me to think of differentials and plans for our patients. And Winston will be starting his cardiology fellowship at the Medical College of Georgia. Kristen Hull. Kristen has a great attitude and zeal. She will be an outstanding attending and is ready for prime time. I'd like to recognize Kristen Hull. Not only is she respectful of everyone, but she is an excellent physician. Her rapport with the nursing staff is exemplary, and that's directly from the nursing staff. I so enjoyed working with Dr. Hull. She is an excellent physician, team leader, and model of professional behavior. And Kristen will be staying on as a hospitalist at VCU Health. Lee Johnson. Lee is an excellent senior resident, obviously ready to be an attending in her own right. Her clinical reasoning skills are spot on, and I had absolute trust in her medical decisions, says one team member. She values teaching and the growth of her team. She took ownership of the team and made sure that the team was communicating well with outside providers, nursing, and patients' family members. She went above and beyond, an excellent physician and leader to her peers. We're very fortunate that Lee is staying on as a chief medical resident next year. Peace Johnson. We're lucky to have such a talented doctor in the residency. Peace connects well with her patients as well as the staff. She goes the extra mile. She embodies professionalism in many ways, including ensuring communication with outside providers and with her colleagues. She has done such a great job with patients and families. We had, according to this learner, we had a really difficult situation. She went above and beyond to serve the patient and family. Peace will be staying on at VCU Health to pursue a nephrology fellowship next year. Adnan Khan, quoted as being an outstanding resident who was able to provide comprehensive care for multiple simultaneous critically ill patients. He demonstrates excellent teamwork. He's a pleasure to work with. He possessed a deep understanding of pathophysiology and was able to synthesize data to construct thorough and accurate plans of care. Adnan, we are fortunate, is staying on as a chief medical resident with us next year. Taylor Curtin Davis, also staying on with us as a chief medical resident next year, quoted, "One of my favorite residents to work with. I absolutely loved working with Taylor. Taylor is very thoughtful about individualizing each plan for her patients. She does an excellent job in explaining these plans in a patient-centric, easy-to-understand manner. She is kind and compassionate. She is the resident I aspire to be like." Bharadwaj Kolapakam, such a great role model. He made our learning environment very special, would allow us to think critically for our patients. Cannot wait to work with him again. His positive attitude and joy for learning is infectious. Bharadwaj is one of the most knowledgeable, caring, and kind residents I've worked with this year. He brought so much positivity and truly emphasized learning. And Bharadwaj will also be staying at VCU Health and starting his hematology oncology fellowship next year. Chad Lee. For Chad, patient care comes first, which is a great quality. He sets a great example for interns. He has an excellent bedside manner and approach to difficult conversations with patients. Chad was a great leader for our team. He explained difficult concepts clearly and was never stressed when patient load was heavy. He is a steady, capable leader. He also took small steps to make work more fun every day. And Chad will be starting in his cardiology fellowship at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Sarah Lee. Sarah is a great resident and leader. I felt supported. She allowed me autonomy where possible and stepped in to do the work when it was helpful and did not detract from the learning environment. She created a working environment where I feel comfortable asking questions and asking for help when patient care needs escalation. I appreciated her pep talks and teaching us how to go about things in a professional and caring manner. I am thankful for her dedicated instruction and for her support through a busy rotation. Sarah will be staying on to do her endocrinology fellowship here at VCU Health. Chris Overton. Chris is quoted to have been the best resident I've ever had in internship. He's supportive, really helpful, beyond encouraging, and super approachable. He is the epitome of a senior resident. I can't emphasize enough how much of an amazing senior resident he's been. I wish him all the best in his future endeavors. Chris is fantastic to work with on the team as he brings a high level of enthusiasm and a great sense of humor. These are important qualities to hang on to as he moves forward. And Chris will be moving on to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill to start his rheumatology fellowship. Milan Patel. Milan is a great senior resident. He took time to teach relevant concepts as related to our patients and was quick to develop a rapport with patients and their families. He's been a great role model as a senior and as a physician in general. Milan is fantastic. Such a team player and frequently stayed late to help with admissions on crazy days. He is the most helpful, selfless person. He is also so fun and is guaranteed to make any day better if you're working with him. He is a total rock star, and he will remain as a rock star in our gastroenterology fellowship at VCU Health next year. Clint Patrick, definitely quoted as one of the best residents I've worked with this year. Note how many of our residents are the best residents. He adapted his leadership style to my specific strengths and needs and effectively managed multiple busy teams throughout the nights together. Really excellent teacher, both in teaching me medical knowledge and task management. I was constantly impressed with his depth of medical knowledge, his attention to detail, his dedication to patient care, and his willingness to jump in and help out with any task. We're very fortunate Clint staying on in a nephrology fellowship at VCU Health. Fatin Raghavan. Fatin embodies what a primary care doctor should be: competent, thoughtful, professional, kind, and calming. Fatin is a great senior to work with. She's extremely knowledgeable, loves to teach, and is very approachable. She actively demonstrates using primary literature and evidence-based medicine in her decision-making and is quick to share what she has learned. She is always available for questions and was willing to help. I really hope I get the opportunity to work with her again. We will all get the opportunity to work with her again as we're fortunate that she's staying on at VCU Health in a palliative care fellowship. Rebecca Sherlin Chaplin, quoted as the best upper level I've worked with. Wonderful to work with. Bedside manner and interview skills on par with any seasoned attending. Dr. Chaplin was an amazing teacher leader during this rotation. She allowed for interns to develop their own plans of care, which facilitated rich discussions during rounds. Dr. Sherilyn Chaplin will be starting as a hospitalist at CHI Memorial Hospital in Tennessee. Michael Sternberg. Michael is a fantastic senior. He's extremely smart and taught me a lot during this rotation. He pushed me to make my own decisions and learn more every day. He is very patient, personable, and knowledgeable. Outstanding resident, very eager to learn, and was completely engaged in rounds and patient care. Was able to take in massive amounts of data and quickly since the size to come up with appropriate differential diagnoses, actual diagnoses, and plans of care, asked appropriate and insightful questions. Again, we are fortunate Dr. Sternberg is staying on at VCU Health as a chief medical resident. Ira Song, also one of our really great catches as a transfer into our training program, quoted as being very enthusiastic regarding the care of her patients, noted to communicate well within the interdisciplinary team, advocate strongly for her patients. Ira did an excellent job on this busy service. She effectively managed the team and was a good leader to her interns. She showed compassion with the patients, especially when addressing difficult discussions and end-of-life issues. Ira is staying on with us as a hospitalist here at VCU Health. William Welch, quoted as being, again, one of the best residents I've worked with, has a good balance of strong work ethic, interest, and sound clinical judgment. He really encouraged us to think critically about our patients. William will be staying here in Richmond as a hospitalist at Johnston Willis. Benjamin Weiss. Benjamin, I just noticed we dropped the N in your name. Ben is a rock star and a delight to work with, not only because of his delicious, life-changing banana bread. For anyone that's in our program, you know that Ben makes banana bread on a weekly basis. Ben's strengths are in his calm and collected approach to patient care and leading the team. He pushed his interns to develop further autonomy and, in turn, confidence. I've worked with him a lot and feel privileged that I got to. I've learned so much from him. And Ben will be starting this summer as a pulmonary critical care fellow at Indiana University. Now I'd like to recognize two of our graduates who are in the emergency medicine, internal medicine program. These individuals trained in both emergency medicine and internal medicine over 5 years. First, Dr. Kyle Taylor, quoted as, Dr. Taylor is a consummate professional. He is one of the most humble, talented, and kind people you will meet. He is currently mentoring some of the interns in primary care, and I must say we couldn't have picked a better role model than Kyle for this job. Kyle will be entering a position as in academic emergency medicine at Inova Health in Virginia. Also in the EMIM program, Alan Yu. Dr. Yu is the type of doctor we should all strive to become. He is insanely smart, organized, conscientious, and is a natural leader. He is well received by patients and staff and is viewed as an effective, compassionate physician. He is thoughtful in his approach to patients, thinking about differentials in a realistic manner. Alan will be practicing emergency medicine and internal medicine at the University of California, San Diego. And now I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Dave Friedel, who will walk us through the graduates from our combined medicine pediatrics training program.
It's my pleasure to present the graduating residents of the combined internal medicine pediatric residency program for 2020. These residents have completed 4 years of training in which they do 24 months of internal medicine and 24 months of pediatrics in an integrated fashion. The first graduate is Melody Bowen. Melody is brilliant, hardworking, maintains a positive attitude and willingness to help in any capacity possible, and is a pleasure to work with. I have learned so much about strong leadership and clinical acumen while working with Melody. Melody models the kind of upper-level resident and physician who I would like to become. She is an effective leader, delegates tasks well, interacts with multidisciplinary team members with professionalism and poise. She is a compassionate physician and demonstrates kindness even in difficult patient encounters. Melody will be starting a career in primary care in Atlanta, Georgia. The next graduate is Karen Herrera. Karen is invested in patient care. She is a very engaged learner, takes independent responsibility for her knowledge acquisition. She is bright, curious, hardworking, supportive of teammates, organized, and fun, said one peer. Karen is highly knowledgeable and always willing to teach. I had a great time working with her as she is friendly and brings a warmth to the work environment. Karen will be starting as a combined Med-Peds hospitalist at Murray Washington Hospital in Fredericksburg. The next graduate is Nicholas Raven. Fantastic senior resident. Appropriately supervised patient care while allowing interns some autonomy. Clinical judgment is excellent. He represents ideal qualities to emulate as a learner and manager. He has a solid foundation of medical knowledge and routinely demonstrated this during rounds by teaching others. He is inquisitive and looks to the literature and role models this behavior for the team. I'm very pleased that Nick will be staying at VCU Health as one of the pediatric chief residents this upcoming year. The last Med-Peds graduate is George Theroff. Dr. Theroff is extremely professional, pensive, and provides excellent care to critically ill patients. George provided a great example of remaining calm and continuing to work effectively despite challenging conditions. He demonstrated effective leadership and how to use all members of a care team to provide great care to patients. George will also be staying at VCU as an internal medicine hospitalist. And I'll turn the program back over to Dr. Call.
So at this point, we have a message from our trainees. And one of the things that our trainees appreciate more than anything are the people that support them as they move through their training, whether it be their colleagues, the staff here, their family and friends at home. They couldn't get through this without everyone's support. So we'd like to share with you a message from our trainees.
Hi, Mom and Dad. Thank you so much for driving 800 miles, even though you did not have to after you found out this was all going to be online, but you did anyway. And thank you to everyone else watching at home for all of your 3 decades worth of support. It means so much to me. Bye.
Hi everyone, I'd like to shout out to my family and thank them for their endless love, support, and patience throughout fellowship. Thank you for making this all possible.
Congratulations, other fellows and residents. Thank you, Dr. Celli. Thank you, Dr. Wickham. Thank you, Division of Endocrinology, for being so good to me. Thank you, Morgan, for being there for me.
I want to say thank you to my mom and my sister, and then also to Ryan for helping me get through residency. I couldn't have done it without you guys. I love you so much. And thank you so much to all the faculty and the co-residents here at VCU for helping me get to where I am and get through residency.
I'd like to thank my parents. Your love, unconditional support, and sacrifice is something that I will never forget, and I will not be here if it wasn't for you. Secondly, my beautiful sisters, you guys have been the most incredible cheerleaders and have pepped me on days where I've needed extra motivation. And then, my now husband, Ellie. You have been incredible. We have survived the cardiology fellowship together, so I think we're going to be just fine. But all jokes aside, you have been an incredible source of positive attitude and encouragement and love, and I couldn't have done it without you. Lastly, my VCU family, your love and support has made me the person and the physician that I am today. I will miss you all, and thank you.
Thank you to my friends and family who have gotten me where I am today.
Hi everyone, I'm Rabia. I'm one of the graduating rheumatology fellows. I would like to take this opportunity to thank my husband Sheku, who has tremendously helped me throughout this journey, my siblings, my parents, the entire rheumatology faculty, both at MCV and at the VA, especially Dr. Moxley, Dr. Syed, and the person without whom none of this would have been possible, Dr. Stephanie Call. Thank you so much.
Thank you to all my family and friends and for supporting me through the last few years. Can't wait to spend more time with you in the next few months.
All right, I'd like to thank all the faculty here at VCU in the Hem-Onc department for getting me where I am. I'd like to thank my parents for installing in me the hardworking values that got me where I am. My sons, Benjamin and Oliver, that always put a smile on my face when I get home from a hard day, and especially my wife, Casey, who's been my rock since day one and getting me through med school, residency, and fellowship. Thank you very much.
Hello, Bam Bam. I love you.
Bye.
Thank you to my parents, Mark and Kathy, sister Elizabeth, my wife, Erin, all the internal medicine faculty at VCU, especially Dr. Brennan and Dr. Waller, all the VCU GI and hepatology faculty, especially Dr. Vachani, all my co-fellows, co-residents, friends, and extended family, and especially God. Thank you.
I want to say thank you so much to my family and friends, especially to my wife. Thank you so much, everyone.
Selena, mom, dad, grandparents, everyone, thank you so much for all the support over the last 3 years. It means the world. Couldn't have done it without you.
Thank you very much, VCU, for 6 years of outstanding training, many amazing friendships, and lots of good memories. Hope to see you all again in the near future, and thanks a lot for everything.
Thank you, family and friends.
Our trainees really can't do it without the people that support them. So what a wonderful message. What we'd like to do now is turn it over to, we're about to move through our fellowship graduates. And so again, there's no better way to introduce our fellowship graduates than to hear from a couple of our fellowship graduates. And so as you remember, the two fellows that won the teaching award as fellows, Dr. Rachel Guthrie and Dr. Trevor Taylor. And so they are going to speak on behalf of the fellows who are graduating.
Trevor and I want to extend our thanks for these awards. It's been a pleasure to work with you, and we're certainly honored by this recognition. What a ride these past 3 years have been from both of us, and we're grateful to have been on this journey with you.
And now to the graduating residents and fellows of the class of 2020, we wanted to extend a heartfelt congratulations. Graduating residency or fellowship is always a momentous occasion and one that deserves much celebration. It also merits a fair degree of reflection. Wherever the next phase of your journey takes you, the world around you is a different one than when you first entered VCU. Nevertheless, this is the world through which we must make our path and in which we must strive for change. For me, the past few months have been some of, if not the most challenging of my 10 years of being a medical student and a trainee. As we first started caring for COVID patients in the ICU, I was both humbled and inspired as I watched colleagues caring for the sickest of the sick in the MRICU. Yet despite the foxhole type mentality that I felt donning PPE with my friends, I found myself tempted to fall into a place of despondency and feel isolated by the uniqueness of our situation. Yet it was in this place that I was reminded of the words of a 20th century author and theologian, C.S. Lewis, whom I am paraphrasing when I say, "Do not let us begin by exaggerating the novelty of our situation. The first action to be taken is to pull ourselves together. If we are going to be destroyed by coronavirus, let that virus, when it comes, find us doing sensible and human things, praying, working, teaching, reading, listening to music, bathing the children, not huddled together like frightened sheep thinking about coronavirus, which may break our bodies, but will not dominate our minds. Buoyed with a fair measure of resiliency and hope from those pointing us towards the truest and deepest things in life, faith, hope, courage, in this place, I was able to appreciate the reality of Winston Churchill's words, "Without a measureless and perpetual uncertainty, the drama of human life would be destroyed." These words rang true deep within me. Those bumps in the road that took the form of extra shifts, a constantly changing schedule, and facing a disease that no one had previously encountered were not merely bumps on the road of life. Those bumps are life. Class of 2020, whether we wanted it or not, we're living in uncertain times, and I would encourage you to remember those things which still remain certain and those strong foundations that we each still cling to. Among those firm building blocks for your success will be the knowledge you have gained here within the walls of VCU, the friendships forged here, and the commitment you have shown to excellent and constantly improving patient care.
As Trevor said, the last few months have come with immense uncertainty. Uncertainty in how to manage our patients virtually, uncertainty in how to manage a new disease, uncertainty, and how we care for more than our capacity to care for. It's during these times that I am hyper aware of still how little we know in medicine. As Voltaire once said, doctors are men and women who prescribe medicines of which they know little to cure diseases of which they know less, and human beings of whom they know nothing. Some of the most important lessons that I've learned from my attendings is that it's okay not to know. And it's okay to tell your patients we aren't sure what's going on, but we're going to work hard to find the answers, and we're going to be with you along the way. It's okay to admit to ourselves that we don't have all the answers. We're always told that medicine is a career of continuous learning. Imagine medicine not that long ago without statins, TNF inhibitors, or PET scans. And imagine the standard of care 20 years from now. While I can say that I feel very comfortable in the ICU, which ironically is the easier part of our specialty, I cannot say that I feel ready to take on every interstitial lung disease. But I have great role models and mentors, and I know that I will continue to learn and build on the foundations that I've developed at VCU. So as I reflect on my collective time here at VCU, the feelings of stress, uncertainty, and fear are at the front of my mind. But if I take a step back, my time has been so much more than that. I'm part of the VCU family. And with family comes the good, the bad, and sometimes the ugly. And times have not been perfect, but times have certainly been good. I've laughed, I've cried, we've learned, and I've made lasting friendships and relationships. We've learned from some of the best clinicians, both within my division and within the Department of Internal Medicine. They've shaped us in how we become teachers for future students, residents, and fellows. I would like to say a special thank you to our Pulmonary and Critical Care Division for always treating us like colleagues rather than trainees.
And so to the graduating residents and fellows, we again wanted to say, congratulations. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Ride those bumps that are life, ride them well. Make us proud as you take the best parts of VCU with you on the next phase of your journey. And in closing, remember, be kind, but be fierce. You are needed now more than ever before. Take up the mantle of change, for this is your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Rachel and Trevor, I don't think anybody could have said it better. And Trevor, I think I'm going to quote you forever. Be kind and be fierce. So with that, we would like to introduce our graduating fellows. Fellows specialize after internal medicine, and they spend anywhere from 1 to 3 to 4 to 5 years with us. They are incredible, and every single one of them has been a tremendous part of our community. I'd like to highlight with each fellowship that we have an amazing group of fellowship directors. So we'll start off with the Division of Cardiology, where our program directors are Gautam Kalahasti, Jay Conneru, Melissa Smallfield, and Barbara Lawson. So Gautam, introducing your fellows.
Thank you, Stephanie. First of all, I just want to say congratulations to all the graduates for internal medicine and all the fellowships. It's really an admirable achievement. So we have 6 fellows graduating this year, and I'll say a few things that select quotes that I think that really embody who they were and what they did in the last 3 years. Justin Heiser, he's very quiet and understated, but always an outstanding clinician. He's calm, cool, collected, and perfectly suited for interventional cardiology. And he is really the word professionalism personified. He's going to be staying on here at VCU for interventional fellowship. Kunal Sangal is one of our chief fellows for the last year. Kunal is a gentleman. He's an excellent clinician and a leader, a role model for residents and peers. He's warm, compassionate, and has a phenomenal bedside manner. He's an outstanding team leader, and he's going to be joining cardiology faculty position at Wake Forest University. Pranav Mankad, who is one of the chief fellows last year, he's very organized, thoughtful, and an incredibly effective clinician. He's had a remarkable academic productivity in a very short period of time, very intelligent, and keeps attendings on their toes. And we're fortunate to keep him here for electrophysiology fellowship. April Shoemake. April is unique. She has a law degree as well. She is very focused, steady, and excellent procedural skills. She quickly and effectively establishes rapport with patients and makes them feel comfortable. She's a very great teacher on rounds, and we're also very lucky to keep her here for interventional cardiology fellowship. Arzu Jahangiri, she's intelligent, thoughtful, and manages in the way she manages patients. She's a great clinician. She's one of the most proactive people I've met in terms of patient care and her own education. Really admirable. She's affable and professional all the time, and she'll be joining a private practice, Amelia Heart and Vascular in Springfield, Virginia. Todd Tiegler, also an exceptionally intelligent and thoughtful clinician. He has he's done a sustained and outstanding academic work throughout fellowship, really amazing productivity there. He's collaborative and inclusive with residents and peers, and he too will be staying here for electrophysiology fellowship. This is the Jay. This turn it over to Dr. Conneru here. I think he's there.
I don't know if you guys can see me. Can you hear me?
Yep.
We have two graduating fellows, Vivek Master and Atish Garg. Atish came to us from India, was a graduate in one of the top medical schools in India, and has continued his academic excellence. And more than anything, these electrophysiology fellows tend to be colleagues more than fellows because they're already cardiologists. And they have been true colleagues in a way that we appreciate their input every single day as to some things that we think about, some things we don't think about, because they're colleagues. And at the same time, I think they have been outstanding and stellar. Vivek has been a chief cardiology fellow here, and that is a reflection of the cardiology fellowship here because he was outstanding in every single way. And we are very proud to continue this. These are the 42nd and 43rd fellows in the cardiac electrophysiology fellowship in the country, which is one of the oldest fellowships in the country. And we wish them the very, very best. And they're truly, truly, truly world-class. That's it for me.
Melissa Smallfield, now we have our heart failure graduate.
Hi, good evening. We have one fellow in advanced heart failure, Cassandra Buto-Coletti. She did her fellowship here at VCU and stayed on with us for an extra year. Her bedside manner and relationship with her patients is fantastic, and she has a passion for palliative care and excels at end-of-life discussions. She has done a great job this year, and we're all going to miss her. She is going to a private practice, Prisma Health, in near Greenville, South Carolina, and will also have a faculty appointment at the University of South Carolina.
I will present our interventional graduating fellows. Dr. Ali Dahan is a very fun-loving person, both professionally and personally. He is constantly asking for feedback in an effort to better himself and his practice. He is Syrian, but actually was born in Serbia, and one attending mentioned him always wanting to throw a wire into that lonely coronary branch that always looks so empty. He will be joining a private practice in Tampa, Florida. Dr. Mohammed Kabash won the Vetrovec Award for Best Fellow from the VA Cath Lab staff. One attending mentioned that he is constantly impressed by Dr. Kabash by his medical literature knowledge, and that he is a consummate foodie and knows all of the good places to eat in every area that he's ever been. He will be joining private practice at Heart Place in Dallas, Texas. And Dr. Dhaval Patel, who was a graduate of our cardiology fellowship, left for a while and came back to the right side of cardiology. He was quoted by one of his attendings as being perhaps the most respectful trainee I've ever had, so professional that he even hesitates to laugh when someone cracks a joke during a procedure, no matter how funny. and he won the state cardiology Jeopardy competition as a general fellow. And he will be joining private practice here in Richmond with Virginia cardiovascular specialists.
Great. And now we're going to move on to the Division of Endocrinology, Diabetes and Metabolism with our Program Director, Trey Wickham.
It gives me great honor to announce both of our graduating fellows. And I just want to highlight for both of these individuals, before they joined us in fellowship, both had really significant contributions to the academic environment, either as a hospitalist or a chief resident. Not only has our division been changed and for the better by their presence, but I know that our institution has as well. And our first graduate, Dr. Pablo Bedoya, he is one of the most enthusiastic learners that we have encountered. He has just a genuine wonder for the field of endocrinology, which is truly contagious. He also connects with his patients on a personal level, putting them at ease. Our second graduate is Dr. Morgan Vargo, who is a highly effective teacher who's just fueled by a robust fund of knowledge. Morgan is absolutely committed to her patient care and her patients, ensuring that they receive the highest quality, personalized, and timely care. And both of our graduates are joining private practice in Richmond, Virginia.
And next we'll move on to the Division of Gastroenterology, Hepatology, and Nutrition. We have several fellowship directors, just like in cardiology, Ravi Bachani in gastroenterology, Richard Sterling in transplant hepatology, Jay Kummerly in IBD and nutrition, and Dumit Buhaider in advanced endoscopy. Ravi, you're up first.
So first of all, congratulations to the graduating residents and fellows. And we have no doubt you will make us proud and wish you all the best in your future endeavor. And it's with a great pride and joy I would like to announce a talented group of individuals graduating from a gastroenterology fellowship program. And they are Dr. George Henry. Some of the quote that accurately describe him: among the strongest of the fellows, kind, knowledgeable, timely, a pleasure to work with. He leads by example, always professional, effective communicator, goes the extra step. Appropriately, he was one of our chief gastroenterology fellow this year, and he'll be joining private practice in Richmond, Virginia. Our next one is a Dr. Abdul Osini, always willing to assist colleagues and personable, effective listener, strong work ethics. He is a thorough and takes time with each detail, communicates well with his team, and always pleasant with helping his colleagues. Dr. Asini is a rare combination of being an excellent clinician and a basic scientist, and he's going to go places in academia. He will be joining as a transplant hepatology fellow in Johns Hopkins University. Our next fellow is Dr. Joseph Redmond. He graduating from our combined gastroenterology and a transplant hepatology pilot program. Some of the quotes which accurately describe him: is a well-rounded and a knowledgeable fellow. His clinical skills are excellent. He's a compassionate, reasonable, approachable physician and treats patients, families, and colleagues with utmost regard and respect. He'll be joining as a transplant hepatologist in Intermountain Healthcare in Salt Lake City, Utah. Our next graduating fellow is Dr. Muhammad Bilal Siddiqui, also one of our chief gastroenterology fellow last year. Some of the quotes that accurately describes him: excellent teacher and explain things in a very precise and a concise way. Outstanding consultant. Communication with team is excellent. Notes are done in a timely manner. Great to work with, and has always been excellent in the communication skills. He will also be joining private practice in Richmond, Virginia, along with George Henry. Dr. Carolyn Walker, she joined us from UAB, one of, I guess, alma mater of Dr. Stephanie Cole. She's great. She goes above and beyond to help her colleagues and always be available. She's hardworking, kind, patient, and very easy to get along with. I'm fortunate to have had the opportunity to train with her as a co-fellow and colleague. Seriously, the best fellow. As a resident, I felt very supported. If I were to describe her, she's compassionate, empathetic, and caring for all her patients and her colleagues. She will be joining private practice in Dallas, Texas. And with that, I'll be handing over to Dr. Richard Sterling, who is our transplant hepatology program director.
So our second, in addition to Joseph Redman, who did our combined GI and transplant hepatology fellowship, Bubu Benini was our fourth year transplant fellow who came to us after completing the T32 grant with Dr. Senyal as well as her GI fellowship. Her smile lights up the room. She's calm and a confident leader, and her scholarship is outstanding, and I'm glad she got her next paper submitted on Friday before she left. So I'm going to miss it. And Bubu is going to be going to join the faculty at Yale University in GI.
And I'm going to introduce Jay Shuhan. He is among the most hardworking fellows, always first to show up and the last one to leave. His communication skills with the patient is unmatched, taking the extra step and explaining the complex procedures in great details. He's going to join private practice in advanced endoscopy in Mount Sinai, Chicago.
Thank you. And so now we're going to move to the Division of Hematology, Oncology, and Palliative Care. We have two program directors in this division, Dr. Christian Barrett and Dr. Danny Noreka.
Hello, this is Christian Barrett, the Fellowship Director of Hematology Oncology, coming to you from Richmond, Virginia at a socially distant but raucous party for the Hematology Oncology graduation. We have 4 graduates that we're going to report on. The first is Taha Al-Jawashi, our Chief Fellow this year. He is full of energy, life, and positivity, and in the last 2 years, 7 peer-reviewed publications, 14 national posters and abstracts, so very productive as well. An excellent fellow who is well on his way to an outstanding academic career. He cares tremendously and is a positive presence for the team and his patients. Taha will be doing a bone marrow transplant fellowship at MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston, Texas. Scott Grapner, as you could tell from his earlier video, is a devoted father and husband and a Clemson fanatic. Enthusiastic, supportive, team player, applies evidence-based medicine to his clinical decisions. Excellent fellow and physician, quiet and unassuming, yet amazingly effective, attentive to his patients' needs. Scott will be going closer to Memorial Stadium in private practice in Lexington, South Carolina. Mahmoud Rashid. Mahmoud is an asset to his patients, his team, and this hospital. His patients love him. He is an excellent oncologist with a big heart for his patients. Dr. Rashid has been my favorite fellow physician I have worked with. He is a great role model and teacher. Awesome physician in every way. In a word, exceptional. Mahmoud will be leaving us after 14 years of tuition and sweat equity at VCU to join private practice in Lynchburg, Virginia. And Toshihisha Sata, an avid mountain climber, having summited several international peaks. He is so patient and always willing to teach the residents and interns. Very well read and brought a great basic science perspective to the oncology environment. Toshi will be staying here on faculty at VCU in the Massey Cancer Center, where he'll be pursuing his career as a lab investigator, as well as pursuing and finishing his PhD.
All right, I can't believe I have to follow that act with Christian and his background fellows over there. I don't even have a bow tie on. This is insane. In any event, I'll try to carry on. This is Danny Noreka. I have the distinct honor of having led a wonderful group of fellows this year who had made it through all of the challenges, and really, I think we learned from them what pieces of self-care and teamwork can be. So I very much appreciate our group of fellows this year, and congratulations to all of the residents and fellows we've just heard about. You have all made it through the most difficult training programs I think any of us could have ever imagined. So to focus on our group, Leah Couture, who you all know, who has been at VCU with us here for a while, as a standout, not only in her focus on patients and families, but also the system around those patients and families and what she can do to create a better system and process of care around them, for which we very much appreciated all of her support during her fellowship year. She is leaving us to be the Director of Palliative Medicine at MedStar Union Memorial in Baltimore, Maryland, where she will continue her leadership from there. Anita Kuzahill is hardworking, very dedicated to patients and families. She is known in our team and was known really a short time after coming on to fellowship and in a very great group of fellows for going the extra mile. She is the one you can find here at 9 p.m. going to find a milkshake for one of her patients, because that was like the one thing that was going to make that patient happy for the day. We are incredibly blessed to be keeping her here as faculty at VCU Health. Sarah West, we are very proud to have here. She was brought here actually to train so that she could found a palliative program in one of our rural areas, and that is certainly something that's incredibly important to our program. So we're incredibly proud of Sarah and very happy to create that link with our colleagues over in Riverside Walter Reed. She is known for being calm in almost any situation and is probably going to kill me for putting an inside joke in here, but I just felt it was really necessary from earlier in her fellowship. She has now learned to exemplify water flowing around rocks and is just about as flexible as possible to meet the needs of patients, families, and teams. And last but not least, we have Paul Zelensky, who is emergency medicine background, and based upon that, the entire place could be on fire around him, and his answer is going to be, let's see what we can do about this and never panic while he's doing it. He's incredibly team-oriented, and we've really enjoyed having him here as part of our interdisciplinary team. He is starting in a position that's emergency medicine at Southside Regional, and they have asked him to help them found a palliative medicine program there over time. So we'll be looking forward to help supporting that work as well. Thank you, and congratulations to all of our palliative fellows.
Thanks, Danny. Now we'll move to the Division of Infectious Disease, and Jillian Rabel will join us. I do want to highlight that our infectious disease fellowship director for several years, Jane Cecil, has done an amazing job, did step down this year. She has been absolutely incredible. And one of the ways in which she's been incredible is mentoring her next person to be the fellowship director. So Jillian, lead us away with celebrating the infectious disease graduates.
I'm incredibly honored to announce this year's ID graduates. It is my first class, as you said, and grateful for Dr. Cecil for her excellent mentorship as well. This group is incredible clinicians, educators, researchers, microbiologists, and I'm proud of them all. So first up, we have Pam Bailey. She finished her clinical ID fellowship last year and stayed on for an epidemiology research fellowship this year and obtained her MPH as well. Pam is a kind and thoughtful physician and is always championed for her patients. She will apply her passion, creativity, efficiency to her role leading a statewide initiative in antimicrobial stewardship. And this year, she was recognized for her excellence, passion, and integrity in the field of public health with the Masho Scholarship. She will be joining faculty at the University of South Carolina Medical School. And on to our clinical ID fellows, Jennifer Emberger. She's unflappable, professional, has great clinical skills and knowledge. Dr. Emberger is smart, thoughtful, compassionate, great with patients, highly capable, thoughtful. All of her patients adore her, and she is able to distill complicated problems into well-organized plans. She will represent us well as she moves on to a faculty position at the Brody School of Medicine at East Carolina. And on to Jonathan Pan. He builds an instantaneous rapport with his patients. He manages the chaos with superb organization and an incredible optimistic attitude. Dr. Pan is incredibly efficient, always professional, and a great team leader and educator. And education is truly one of his passions. He will be joining the internal medicine group and also practicing in HIV care at the University of North Carolina, Wilmington. And finally, Nicole Vicicelli. She has excellent clinical judgment. She is thoughtful and detailed. She's a steadfast patient advocate. Nicole is a star physician. I would want her to care for one of my family members. She's hardworking, focused, diligent, and reliable. She digs deep on every case, and I look forward to being colleagues. And I'm really pleased to say that Nicole is joining us on faculty. She'll be one of our transplant ID physicians.
Thanks, Jillian. We're going to move over to the Division of Nephrology, where our program director, Jason Kidd, will announce their graduates.
Thank you. I'm here live from Mannequin
bit with Dr. Beer. So Iram Rafiq, she has a wonderful bedside manner and she's very attentive to her patients' needs. For next year, she's undecided, but will have a great job. Katie Bean. Katie is a wonderful physician who cares deeply about her patients as well as other learners on the team. Her dedication to any task set to her is profound. This ability is aspirational. It was a privilege to work with her, and she'll be taking a faculty position at UAB back home. Cervanti. Cervanti Polori is a pleasure to work with. She has multiple strong points I'd like to point out. She's an active learner, gives careful attention to each patient's needs and history. She's receptive to feedback and absolutely excellent at interacting with other members of the care team. And she'll be staying on with us as a transplant fellow next year. And finally, we have Faisal Radwi, who graduated in January. He's talented.
We don't know where he is.
Yeah, he's a good grasp of literature and its clinical applications. He's efficient and not intimidated by complex patients. And he'll be doing a palliative care fellowship next year at Yale.
Somewhere in the desert.
And I'll mute myself now.
Thanks, Jason. We wish we were at your party.
What I was trying to trace back was, I was like,
next we've got the Division of Pulmonary Disease and Critical Care Medicine with two fellowship directors, Dr. Lisa Brath of the Core Pulmonary and Critical Care Medicine and Samira of the Interventional Pulmonary Medicine. So Lisa?
I don't know how to follow that one. First, congratulations to all the graduating residents and fellows. You guys are simply amazing, and we are humbled to work by your side every day. I can't help but say something special about our group, though. Our fellowship is very challenging, even in a good year and normal circumstances. And for these guys, add back-to-back years of serious illness amongst other fellows, and then leading the global pandemic response. They never missed a beat. I'm so incredibly proud of them. So honored to have stood by their side the last 3 years, and their communities will be better because of them. I know I have. Niall Crowley, he allowed me to think critically about my patients and provide insight when I needed it. He consistently provided excellent care. He's incredibly supportive of everyone on the team, and he'll be doing private practice in Norfolk, Virginia. Rachel Gree, you guys heard from, is a great teacher. She made everyone feel like a valued member of the team. And while she may not realize it, she's a true superstar. She's always a calm anchor in the storm, and she'll be doing private practice in Knoxville, Tennessee. Sean Murney, an outstanding teacher, impressive knowledge base, a great role model. He's a patient advocate, an amazing physician. He continuously pushed me to be a better doctor, and he'll be staying close by in the Tri-Cities in private practice. And then finally, Trevor Taylor. He is truly someone who is an exemplary in his actions, how he treats his patients, and how he interacts with coworkers. There are very few people that you feel your medical knowledge grows by just being in their presence. Dr. Taylor is one of them, and he'll be going to Raleigh, North Carolina in private practice. So I'll turn this over to Dr. Sojay.
Can you guys hear me? Thank you, Lisa. I want to congratulate all the graduates. It is my honor to present our fellow in interventional pulmonology, Dr. Yevgeny Gershman. He is an excellent and patient teacher. He has won every team member's heart with his charm, his humor, his steady and calm demeanor. He treats every patient and every disease category with a systematic and thoughtful approach. He has been incredibly productive academically. He has published 5 peer-reviewed papers in his 1 year with us. Evgeny picked up his family, Tanya, and his 3 sons, Lior, Idan, and Eldar, and moved from Israel to US to complete his interventional pulmonary training so that he could take this new field and take it to his country and bring his country a new specialty. Evgeny will be joining the faculty of Tel Aviv University.
Thank you, Samira. Thank you, Samira. And now we'll move on to our last but not least division of rheumatology, allergy, and immunology. And we have two program directors, Dr. Wei Zhao in allergy, and then Dr. George Moxley in rheumatology. Wei Zhao.
Good evening. It's my great pleasure to introduce our graduate fellow allergy immunology, Dr. Farah Khan. Farah joined us from Northern Virginia Fairfax Medical Center. And we think that she sets the example of life and the work balance, and it is so important in this day of life in medicine. Having a baby during the first year, then quickly catching up, providing excellent care to her patients, as well as a great communicator in coordinating patient care. And she's constantly engaged in improving learning experience for our fellowship, for the fellows. Led the VCU team to attend American College of Allergy, Asthma, Immunology Fellow in Training Bowl competition, which is the knowledge-based competition. Her scholarly work has been presented in the national meetings such as ACAI and American Society of Immunology. I have no doubt she will be an excellent allergy immunologist practicing in Northern Virginia and DC area. During this unique COVID-19 time, she's still working out the details regarding where and when in that area. Congratulations, Farah, and best wish. Thank you.
I'm George Moxley. I'm the program chair for rheumatology. I must thank both Nishat Desai and Rabia Gill for coming to do fellowship with us. We really appreciated them. They have been aspirational in many ways. Nishat has had really high expectations among our faculty because he came from a Detroit big city hospital chief residency. We found he was a self-starter who has fulfilled every goal, plus some, including ultrasound certification. He's calm, genial, he has a can-do attitude, he's a confident leader. He's a dream fellow. He's always prepared, thinks independently, has broad differentials and good plans. He's extraordinarily competent. I would say that he has exceptional clinical skills, disciplined organization. He anticipates potential problems, and he has complete and concise records. He will be a rheumatology clinician in Surat, India. Rabia Gill, we also expected high performance from her because she came from our own stellar residency program, and she's met every expectation and performed spectacularly. She's spirited, driven, and caring. She's a great addition to the academic medical center. She's one of the best communicators ever. She's a highly effective consultant rheumatologist with aspirational work habits and solid subspecialty knowledge. She'll be joining our division as a clinician in these next months.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone, and thank you so much to our fellowship directors again, and all of the program directors that are associated with the core residency program that support our trainees. We are graduating an amazing class. I will quote Trevor Taylor in saying and encouraging everyone to be kind and fierce. One of my favorite quotes: "The moment you doubt whether you can fly, you cease forever to be able to do it." You're a class that is filled with talent, skill, creativity, and a drive to serve others. Seek the possibilities in your future, much as you have during your time at VCU. We look forward to hearing of your successes. Congratulations, and I'll turn it over to Dr. Syme to close.
Stephanie, not so quickly. Can you hear me?
Of course.
All right, good. Everyone, good evening. My name is John Nessler, and I'm the former chair of internal medicine. As many of you may know, Dr. Call is stepping down as program director, and will be leaving VCU at the end of the month. So Dr. Syme and I would like to say a few words of farewell. In my many years of academic medicine, and there have been many, I have never encountered a person as dedicated to education as our Dr. Stephanie Call. For over a decade and a half, Dr. Call has served the Department of Internal Medicine as the program director of its core residency program, and more recently as its associate chair for education. And in those roles, she has fundamentally influenced and guided the education of countless house staff, students, and fellows. An esteemed leader in medical education on the national stage, Dr. Call has been the recipient of numerous teaching awards, locally and nationally. She has pioneered innovations in medical education that have been emulated nationwide. But perhaps of even greater importance to her, she has garnered our admiration and deep gratitude for her ceaseless dedication to her trainees. I had the great fortune and pleasure of working closely with Dr. Call for a decade and witnessed firsthand her devotion to her trainees. If one of Dr. Call's trainees were having difficulty, be it academic or often personal, Dr. Call would go so far as to visit them in their home. She would call me in the middle of the night, concerned about that person's welfare. She would do whatever she could to support and help them. That is the type of commitment and affection she had for those in her charge. Simply put, for Dr. Call, education is her passion and her life. The residency program has been her home, and her trainees have been her second family. Stephanie, we have been so fortunate to have you with us, and we are all extremely grateful to you. And as we bid you farewell, we also say to you, you will always be a part of us and have a home here. And now I'll turn it over to Dr. Syme.
Thank you, Dr. Nessler. I just really like to add my own note of gratitude to you, Dr. Call. Stephanie, I arrived here 11 months ago, and you're just an incredible person. You're an incredible physician, and you're an incredible educator. Your absolute love and passion for education and for your learners shines through, and it is totally genuine. Your dedication to VCU is deep-seated, and I am already very grateful to you. You've touched so many learners and so many lives. You should really think about the legacy that you have created. You have helped to generate really skilled and caring trainees that we are going to be really fortunate to retain here at VCU to send out across the Commonwealth and far beyond. That is amazing impact. Stephanie, you're also an amazing clinician. When the first COVID patients arrived on our floors, you had your sleeves rolled up and you were on the floors side by side with your trainees. You are a truly wonderful role model. We've had some clandestine meetings. I've been doing things behind your back, like all good cheers. And I know you love your chief residents, and we've been scheming on your behalf. We've been thinking about how best to honor you. You are a superb educator, and what greater honor than could be than having an award for resident teaching named after you. So we are now going to have the Stephanie Ann Call Award for outstanding resident teaching. And we know that the recipients of this award for many years to come will have a very high bar to live up to, and your legacy will continue onwards. It is very appropriate that the chief residents have the last word. They have a very special gift for you, Stephanie, and I'd ask Dr. Katie Weibo to present this gift.
I have to give up the mic.
You have to give up the mic, so scoot over, just over. Don't go away. So when we found out that Stephanie was stepping down as program director, we knew that this moment had to be marked in a really special way. Dr. Call has directly impacted hundreds of trainees and consequently thousands of lives. And so to truly commemorate her influence, we turn to those trainees who we believe are your legacy. We've curated a collection of testimonials from residents as far back as 2004, describing the impact that you have had on us as alumni of the VCU Internal Medicine residency training programs and fellowships, as physicians and as people. Alumni have submitted stories, photos, and memories that capture you, and we'd like to share just one that we think truly says it all. You taught us how to be learners. You taught us how to be teachers. You taught us how to be researchers. You taught us how to be leaders. You taught us how to care for patients. You taught us the value of hard work. You taught us that medicine is a lifelong pursuit. You taught us to be doctors, and we are forever grateful. Thank you. Now it really is going back to Dr. Simon.
Thank you. We thought maybe you wouldn't want to speak after this, Stephanie. We'll have a lovely video to share with all of our graduates, and this is a message from our leadership. But before then, Dr. Buckley, the Dean of the School of Medicine, has had some technical troubles logging on, but he has sent me a text message that I would like to read to you. His message reads, "You will be amazing doctors in your next stage of your career and beyond because of the remarkable experiences that you've had here at VCU and especially during our COVID-19 crisis." And he notes, "You have made us very proud." He asks you, keep in touch and do great things, and thanks you all. So I hope everyone has enjoyed tonight's celebration, and we will leave our leadership with the final comments. Congratulations to you all, and as we say in Scotland, cheers or slanjivar.
Congratulations, my fellow internists. I wish you great fulfillment in your careers and happiness in your lives.
Congratulations to each and every one of you. We wish you a great career wherever you are, whether it's in the Commonwealth or across America, and remember that you are our proud ambassadors of our medical school and our institution. You'll do a great job. Don't be strangers, keep in contact with us. Our alumni love to hear about your successes, so be well, do well, and keep in touch. Congratulations again.
So hello and goodbye, but congratulations mostly. I'm Ron Clark, Interim CEO of VCU Hospitals and Clinics, internal medicine physician and faculty member, and truly want to thank you for the great work that you've done, particularly in the last few months as we've battled the pandemic, social injustices, all the things have been thrown at us, but your great work has been what has helped sustain us. I do wish you the very best in your future and hope that when you have a chance, you can update us on how you're doing, what you're hearing, what you're feeling, and really what we could do or could do better to help you go forward in your next phase of your career and life. So congratulations and best wishes to all of you.
Congratulations. Whether clinically or in a conference or at a physiology retreat, it's been wonderful getting to know you and to work with you. Best wishes to all of you in the future.
Hello, folks, and congratulations on completing this last 3 years. You've done a great job. It's been a distinct honor to work with you. I think I've worked with most everybody over the last 3 years. It's been a wonderful experience for me. Hopefully it's been for you too. But we've had a great time together, and it's wonderful to look towards the future for the next part of your medical career. I like to kind of think about that. I mean, you think I think I want you to really consider what it's going to be like over the next 3 years. Some of you will be in training, some of you will be going into your primary care doctors or ERs or whatever you're going to be doing, hospitalist work, but you're really going to be moving to the next phase of your life. And I want you to continue to kind of embrace the wonder of what it is to be a human and to be part of the human experience. You're going to be now a part of stories of your patients, and it's a kind of a wonderful part of being a doc is to really be a part of the stories of your patients. So please embrace that and embrace the wonder of what we do. It's a wonderful profession, and I'm sure all of you will love it and do great at it. So again, congratulations for a job well done, and I'd like to work with a lot of you in the future. Cheers.
Hi, graduating class. I'd really like to tell you how excited I am and how proud I am of what you've accomplished and for your upcoming graduation. I want to wish you the very best of luck. Take what you've learned, use it well, and do good. Always remember humanity, be humble, and be proud of what you've accomplished and what you'll be doing for your patients. I wish you the very best and have a really great future.
So residents and fellows, the graduating class of 2020, you are amazing. Go forth and set the world on fire. You've made us proud. Keep up the great work. You're very special to me because you're my first graduating class as Chair of Medicine. You're special to us all because of your response to COVID. You are amazing people, amazing docs, and it's been a privilege.